these meetings for future viewing on our YouTube channel.
So thank you. I'd like to call our regular council meeting of Tuesday, November 28th to order. Respectfully acknowledging that this meeting has been held on the traditional territory of the Plaza people. David Kesson.
Peter Kirsten.
May I have approval of agenda as presented? Moved by Councilor Tidbury, seconded by Councilor Dexno. All in favor? Carried. We have the minutes of the special council meeting held November 14th for adoption. Moved by Councilor Smith, seconded by Councilor Dexno. Any errors or omissions? All in favor? Carried. Minutes of the regular council meeting held November 14th for adoption. Moved by Councilor Texmo, seconded by Councilor Dugas. Any errors or omissions? All in favor? Carried. We have no delegations or requests. Moving on to business arising. Our council action item report for November 14th for information. Any comments? All right, we have no new business, no correspondence, no committee reports. It's like.
Do we go home?
Bye.
Cut off.
Did you
No,
have?
no, sorry, I was just waving goodbye. Dennis said something about going home.
No, you gotta stay for, he is home.
We have staff report from our CAO, Heather Nelson Smith, about a request for a one-year extension of development permit DP 01-2020 8925 Park Drive. Councilor Tidbury,
I'll make that motion. Second that.
second by Councilor Texmo. Any discussion? CAO Nelson Smith.
No discussion, just that the proponents are actively working towards getting their building permit in, so we just need to make sure that everything is in line in order to make sure that the building permit is held up.
Any other comments? All in favor? Carried. From our CAO, Heather Nelson Smith, the draft municipal revenue tax, district tax 2024 tactical plan. The recommendation that council approve the draft MRDT 2024 tactical plan as presented.
And if I could,
Yeah.
just quickly, so I actually thought it was attached to the agenda, but it wasn't on here, so maybe this is a little confusing to everybody, so my apologies. But I've given you the 4 columns. We've got the total budget and the VINT budget, which is the total VINT budget. Disregard those two because those are being finalized by Natalie right now. So just ignore those. But what I wanted to show was the tourism Port Hardy, the 2 different options that we had. So originally in the first column had presented the it's basically the same old what we did last year going forward. And of course, we have just finalized a quote through 4VI to manage the MRDT program for the 2024 year, which currently, everybody remembers, it is covered under the current contract of the Chamber of Commerce, which is ending as of December 31st. So we need to find somebody else to manage that for us. So this is a proposal where the MRDT would then be managed. This would be the entire marketing plan would be managed through 4VI, which is the for Vancouver Island Tourism, which also Natalie is a part of. And so she would be administering that through the 4VI program. And then what I have changed in here is the website, because we are expecting the majority of the website to be completed by the end of this year. I had some questions prior to the meeting about some of our revenues from the MRDT, just so that we can kind of talk about what the carry forward was. So in 2022, we collected the gross tax collected for the MRDT for Port Hardy. It was $215,000 for the fiscal year up to, and this is the total, not less any of our administration costs or anything, that's the total. And then up to the date of which this meeting occurred back in September, we had collected $117,000, which would be representative, I believe, of up to June. June or August. June, this one would be June.
Yeah.
So that would be $117,000 was grossly collected. So when you see what the amount is, so the general MRDT of the $93,000 that we're budgeting to bring in this year, as you'll recall, we have a 3% MRDD tax,
Mhm.
2% of which 80% of that goes to the regional district of Mount Waddington in order to fund VINT. And then the 1% we keep 100% of. So that's the net value of the 92. We anticipate that we will get more, but we always budget just a little bit less so that we can always make sure that we have a good buffer so that we don't over anticipate what our expenses are going to be for the year.
Mhm.
Is there any questions on the revenue?
Now, you said that, for VI, oh, I'm sorry.
Council Duke.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Through the mayor, with regards to for VI, then you said that Natalie would be taking that over then, for them, or how does that work?
So if I can just explain the relationship, so 4VI is also contracted through the regional district of Mount Waddington in order to administer the bid. Natalie is part of 4VI as a result of that, and so there's a team that will be working on delivering the marketing program, and Jane is one of the team members. Natalie will also assist in some way, shape, or form.
Oh, okay.
So we had approached another contractor, but that other contractor was too busy to
Oh,
see if
okay.
they would be interested in doing it.
Okay, so that's why we went this route.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And from the perspective of staff, it's the easiest route for us to ensure the stability going across as well. So without having that other contractor, which we had anticipated, I hope we need to take that, and it might change in the future. You never know. This was a great opportunity for us to just make sure that we have a nice seamless administration of the actual program. Now,
Mhm.
what we would be doing is entering into an agreement for approximately 1 year. Then we can reevaluate at the end of this particular term, which would be around August, September, we'd be reevaluating for the coming year to
Mhm.
2025. But you will get all of your deliverables as part of the contract amount that they've quoted us. And of course, we won't be billed for anything that we don't
Yeah.
approve.
And this all came about because, oh, I'm sorry, through the mayor.
Hang on a second, Council Robertson had a question.
So go ahead. Phil.
Thanks. I just don't have, and if it came by email, I'm sorry I missed it. I don't have any of the documentation or anything, the plan. It's not, doesn't seem to be a link in my agenda anyway.
It came by email separately.
Mhm.
And then there's an
Give us an
amendment.
update, amendment to that email.
Yeah,
Sorry, I missed it anyway.
Heather's trying to get it to you, Fred.
Thanks.
Robertson.
so while Heather's sending it, Council Dugas, do you want to?
Well, I would just mentioning the change is due to the fact that the Port Hardy Chamber of Commerce is no longer looking after MRDT. That's correct?
That's correct, as of December 31st.
Yeah. So that would be done by this particular group for VI with Natalie helping out or whatever. That works out great. I guess the only other question is, yeah, we're gonna be taking that over as of January 1,
Yes.
doing that whole operation, which I'm sure we're gonna still talk about down the road.
And things get finalized.
As soon as it gets finalized, that's right.
Councilor Robertson, I just emailed it to you.
Yeah, thanks. I got it. It's so far has said access denied. Don't worry about it.
Oh, no, really?
I'll get it. I'll get it afterwards. Don't worry. I was able to follow along anyway, so I don't think.
Okay.
Okay.
Is I can send you pictures of my phone.
Council Smith?
Yeah, I think that's really good for continuity, having 4VI. Heather's a part of Heather. Natalie is a part of all of the meetings, so I think that's really good for continuity. And then it is a little steep, it's about 20% of the earnings that we get of that 1% plus the 20% of the 2%. But I think it will be well worth it, and maybe that, I don't know, we'll sort of gauge how that goes. And tourism's doing much better, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Which that will affect the bottom line, so. Yeah, no, that's good.
And so we have a recommendation. Do I have, first and a seconder? Moved by Council Smith, seconded by Council Dorwood. Any other comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Going on to bylaw number 1168-2023, amendment to the financial plan 2023-2027 for first, second, and third readings. Would our Director of Finance, or May, just explain exactly why we have to do this?
Sure. There's the biggest change in here, well, 98% of the change in here is transfers from government, so we received that growing communities fund for 1.9. So that needed to be added in to the financial plan. And then one capital project that was for a bid on a Zamboni from Port Alice went in there, and then one other small grant. And so that's what made the change for the amendment to the financial plan.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve this? Councillor Dorwood, seconded by Councillor Texmo. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Bylaw number 1169-2023, revenue anticipation borrowing bylaw for first, second, and third readings. Moved by Councillor Tidbury, seconded by Councillor Smith. Director of Finance, would you mind explaining why we're doing this one?
It's done each year in anticipation of not receiving all of our property taxes and needing funds to be able to carry us through until we receive that. So we take a 75% of where we were on our taxes, and this year was 6.3 million times 75%, come out to the 4,000 or 4 million, sorry. 786.
Thank
I
you.
don't know if you want to say anything more than that. but-
No, it was perfect. Councillor Dorwood?
I've seen this in the agenda, just reminded me that it's been a year since we've been in office, because this is always, seems to be the first thing that comes up, the new counselors.
Yeah.
And we always wonder, what's this?
Yeah.
But each year here.
Yeah, I remember asking that.
Yeah.
What is this?
Every new counselor does.
Yeah. Hard to read that lingo.
All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Carried. I think we do have a pending bylaw.
We do,
yes.
we have a
Yeah.
pending as a main amendment.
Yeah, sorry, that's that from before. Okay, council reports. Councillor Smith.
Thank you, Mayor. Pretty short this one. On November 15th, attended the Port Hardy Heritage Meeting. They've signed up for the incredible skills of Patty and Carly, so they're kind of looking forward for that, doing their online presence, branding, things like that. I think it's long overdue. And then, of course, all of the incredible artists that they have showcasing in the museum. And I'm looking for board members for February, so hopefully we can get some new blood in there going forward. And I'll save all the other goods for when they come and do a presentation to council. I think they're just waiting on talking to Heather actually about just what they've done, and I'll leave that for Robin, our curator. Amazing. We're very fortunate to have her and all of the stuff that she's been doing, which is pretty great. So and then I was down island last week for training. So yeah, that's pretty much my report. That's it.
Thank you. Yes. Councillor Texmo.
So I showed up for the rising of the Métis flag. It was good to be part of that Métis myself, so it was nice to be a part of that. And also after that, I was invited by what was the name? Was that Mara? I don't remember the names. I'm so bad with names. Jackie. I know it was Jackie, and then I think it was Mara was the other one.
I think so too.
Yeah, so I got invited to go to the Sacred Grove Friendship Center and go there and visit with them. And it was actually really good. I got to go there and actually talk with them. And it's kind of neat because I come from a huge heritage of hunting. It's a big part of my life, still is. And nowadays it's kind of a soft topic for a lot of people. They don't like it. It's very controversial. But being there's none of that. It was just, you're at home, and then they all were asking me questions as I hunt, and every year I find fairly successful. So now they're asking me questions about how to process animals and how to, if they could come out in the field next time I get one and show them how to it's really cool. I really enjoyed it. And a lot of people I didn't even know were Métis showed up after and I'm like, oh, wow, okay, this is pretty cool. So yeah, it was good to go there and do that, and meet some new friends and I'll definitely be doing that more be more engaged with that. And then after that, I went to the Eagle View Bazaar on the weekend. It was pretty cool there. Sold some calendars and got hassled for my seniors membership there. And I'm now a member of the senior society, so they got full staff coverage or council coverage on that now. So, and that's it for me.
Thank you. Councilor George.
Well, I also was at the flag raising ceremony for Louis Real Day, the North Island Media Association that came out from Campbell River, and up into the Sacred Wolf Friendship Center where they had their celebrations, and I learned quite a bit about Métis culture, so that was good for me. This is the first Métis event I've ever been to, and also the Association of Vancouver Island and Coastal Communities, which I'm a part of, the AVICC. They were invited. The board was all invited to attend by the NCLGA, the North Central Local Government Association, which is the counterpart in like Prince George and that area. A webinar called Ethical Space, a Framework for Indigenous Relations. This is very relevant to all of us, but it was good. And the key points were, they reiterated that, each nation is independent and operates differently from others, or the same, depends, right? And that it's really important to ask and find out what the communication and customs are for that particular nation. So, except we all kind of know, but just really reiterated how really important it is. So that was good. That's and I was away for a week, so that's all I had.
Thank you. Councilor Robertson.
Thanks. I'll see if I can put my camera on for this. Hopefully I don't freeze up. Anyway, thank you. I'd like to officially welcome Brian to the Old People's Club. I think it might just smidge early, Brian, but that's okay. Welcome. And it was really good. I'm a little sad that I didn't make it to the raising of the Métis flag and flying the Métis flag. I was brought up in Manitoba, and Métis culture is a big part of Manitoba culture as well. So yeah, I think that's great. I'm a little sad I wasn't able to be there. But I have been the last couple of weeks. There have been a couple of Vancouver Island Regional Library meetings, a special executive meeting, and then last Saturday, a regular general meeting. One of the big issues was what the levy is, the levy that's coming to communities, and the increase that's there. It will be coming to a budget discussion close to you tomorrow. But it's been an issue. I won't go into it too much here. When there's more time, I'll explain it. But it has been a big issue with a number of communities. I was able to go to the MAP meeting in Campbell River last Thursday, a week and a half ago. And it was actually really very interesting. Looking at all of the projects that MAP Nanamekolis, which is the MAP is basically First Nations through Nanamekolis and other bands and other groups, interested groups, community governments, and the government of BC. And there was lots and lots and lots of things discussed. There were lots of different sectors, economic sectors that were represented there. Interesting conversations about kelp, Loki Ways, clam gardens and revitalization. The Guardians program is really strong and has progressed through into post-secondary situations now. So, and possibly one of the biggest deals, although it was discussed, but is coming to us, is the Coastal Marine Strategy, which I've mentioned before, and which is coming to a province, BC. near us very soon. So that is ongoing. I was also at the ferries consultation. And Pat was there as well. I was having a few technical challenges. Some of the software they were using was, it's the first time I'd used it, and how do I say it politely? I screwed it up. So, but once I got it sorted out, it was okay. Anyway, it was interesting. I'll get Pat's take on it too. To a certain extent, I think it was a bit, it was, we didn't get to set the parameters as much as, which is fine. And anyway, it was an interesting, they were listening, and they were there. BC Ferries was there to listen. And again, we come to a ferries consultation from a little bit different perspective than, say, communities that rely on it for day-to-day existence as a main part of their transportation route. So anyway, that's me.
Thank you. Councillor Dugas?
Thank you, Mayor. Had the opportunity of being at the 5th Economic Development Forum at Seven Hills there on the 14th and the 15th. And I know our mayor was there, and Heather was there, and did a presentation there. It was excellent, talking about Port Hardy and what's happening in our area and what Patty and Carly have been doing and helping businesses. They did a little presentation there, and it was very well received by everybody, and everybody was really excited about the potential of maybe get their areas and their communities being involved. So that was great. On the 15th, we had a half day talking about tourism, which was very well at there. Well, the attendance was about half of what I guess what it should have been, or could have been, I should say. But it was really good. We talked about, and Natalie and that team has really done a great job. And I know that John being involved with it, being as the chair of that group, there's lots of things happening in it, and tourism is definitely on the increase. Obviously, there's some concerns that John had brought up with regards to the overusage of, we could say overusage of North Coast Trail with regards to some of the areas that need to be fixed, and there was talk in that meeting with regards to putting a little bit more pressure on our local MLA and the province with regards to the Parks Department part of the province to get up there and get some work done. Help support the people that are looking after it, give them some more money so they can actually fix up those bogs that are causing a lot of damage up there, and the overusage of the park with regards to people. What you take in, you take out type philosophy, make sure that people take the junk out of there instead of leaving it there. But that seemed to be happening in all the different areas up in that area. Whether it's San Joe or Side Bay, whatever, it doesn't matter. They're all getting hit hard with over traffic and people just not looking after it to the extent that they should be. So that was good. We finally got our application into for the community housing funds through the BC Housing. Had to be out on the 17th, and we got it in on the 16th, and they let us know right away that they received it, which was great news. And my conversation or email with Albert Lopez, who is the guy that looks after the area up here, basically, I told them, I sent him an email, said, can I talk to you now? About different things. Nope, can't talk to you because they're doing the evaluations, and so they can't talk to us until those are completed. So he told me that we should be hearing back early 2024. That's sort of the plan. So we're pretty excited about that. Also, we had a meeting at the MRD Regional District about Waddington. Andrew Hurry again has been chosen as the chair, and the vice chair is Dennis Buchanan. And they're still struggling with their challenges getting people to fill the positions down there. They've had a few people that have left, and some other people that are going, and they got some big holes there to fill, and they're still reaching out to whoever they could get to come and fill up their financial positions, their planning position. And there's an engineering group, Cody, I think his name was. He's leaving now to go on to other things. So they got some holes there they got to fill. So and we all know what that's like, trying to fill positions. And in the North Island, it's hard, right? BC Salmon Farmers Association, I was able to attend their update. And, our mayor was there as well. And they were very appreciative of us and the support that we give them. I was kind of surprised that there was no other, mayors or that were actually at the meeting representing our area, other than, normally you see, all the, because our group was used to be Gold River, Campbell River, Port McNeil, and us, and Sayward. And we were the only two that were there representing the elected officials, which they really appreciated. And another exciting thing that they're gonna have their AGM up here next spring in Port Hardy. BC Salmon Farmers Association are gonna have their AGM here, so all the people that are involved with the salmon industry are gonna be here.
Do you have the dates?
Not yet.
They had a date, but I can't remember what it was.
I don't have it in my notes.
April, was it April?
It was in April sometime.
April sometime.
Maybe they did have a date.
April, but anyways, that's exciting for us, for them to come up here. We're looking forward to that. That'll be great. The other thing that I was involved was with the North Vancouver Island Medical and Health Expo, the Career Expo. They had the representatives from Island Health there, and they discussed with regards to, and basically, I think they said that something like 60 people had called in, and there were people from all over the interior and everywhere calling in to find out about what's it like to live on the North Island. And so everybody sort of gave in their why are they here? Why are they working here? Why do they love it here? It was really, really cool. That went on for about an hour, and then the Mount Washington Regional District Group, Pat English and Megan and Chuck, and there was who else was on that? Can't remember. There was a couple other individuals that were on there, and they were talking about why they live in the North Island and how great it is. And Elizabeth was on there, and they were talking about all their experiences and why they love it here or whatever. So, and there seemed to be a lot of interest from people from outside, with regards to the North Island and coming here to work. So that's kind of cool.
Just got building a house.
Yeah, that's right. We gotta build them a house. And then there was a Foundry leadership meeting, and I was glad to be able to attend that. And big kudos goes out to Christine, Swain and that team for all the work that they're doing with the youth. And some of the interesting things that they talked about is they're actually gonna be opening up the Foundry on a Saturday for when people come down on the ferry from Bella Bella. Some of the kids that are talking, they kind of develop some relationship with them so they can come and have some one-on-one with them, talking about having opportunities in the afternoon for kids to meet. And then they also talked about the importance of having that partnership with the District of Port Hardy with regards to what's happening with our recreation center. And it was pretty neat to hear the attendance, the youth that are coming there to take a part with that. And I thought that was, well, it is exciting. And that's hard. She says, we're all almost getting to the point where we're outgrowing where we are. Because there's just so many people coming at one time that they didn't hardly have enough room for them all. So she says, it's sad because of all the work that we've done to get where we are, but it also is pretty exciting about the possibilities of what it's going to look like in the future, because they said, well, they can't give up on having a bigger place. So I think that's really cool. And yeah, I think that unfortunately, that's all I gotta say.
Thank you. Councilor Tidbury.
Okay. Things I've done, I did the seniors annual general meeting, and Rosalind is basically taking the chair for 1 year. And she doesn't know what she wants to do after that. But that's another story. The Concert Society, I attended that. And we have
I
some,
went to that. That was awesome.
yeah, we have, it's a great show. We have some concerns, and I'm probably gonna approach some of you to see how we can they didn't get their grant this year. So they've got no money to work with. So, so it's becoming a bit of a struggle and so I'm gonna, talk to Heather, Dennis was there, when we talked to Malcolm, and maybe we can get Malcolm to come and explain the whole situation to you
Yeah.
all and stuff like that, but, right now, it's definitely a big concern. We've worked out a plan, how we're gonna work this year. Basically, the Lions Club is going to support them for the rest of the year. But they'll be also looking for other people for support.
Mhm.
Okay? I attended the regional district meeting. We've had a number of hamper, Gazette hamper meetings. The cutoff date is the 30th. And then we'll have, get to know our numbers. And after that day, I sent out some, when we're planning to do some wrapping and things like that. More hands, the faster it gets done.
Mhm.
So people just show up at those.
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's like if you're there, it'd be nice to have you.
Okay, when's that gonna be?
I can send out the email.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll forward the email.
I thought I sent it out to everybody. I guess I didn't.
No, I didn't get
I
it.
got something. So,
Okay, I know I sent to you, Pat.
yeah.
Okay, attended the Vancouver Island North Wood Advisory Group. That's held every second month in Port McNeill. And it's basically reports on Western Forest Parks and what they're doing, and there's some really interesting information comes out of that, especially some of the technology like the LiDAR, that's how the technology is when it first started to where it is now and where it's gonna go. It's a good committee to be on, and I enjoy that committee. We had a meeting with Canada Post about our concerns of the postal service in the North Island here, and I think they've gone back to their bosses with the show that we're not happy with the system that's at present. I was lucky enough to take 17 seniors or mid-seniors down to Chemainus for an overnight trip to theatre. It's a dinner at 30. It's a big gathering. On the trip down island, we stop in at the Campbell River Senior Center, and they're always pleased to see us. That's a neat place to see, and how their senior center is set up. We went to Chemainus, and it's all What a Wonderful Life by radio, and what it was 5 actors that had mics in front of them. One was actually doing the sound effects of shutting doors and things like that, and he was off to one side. And the actors could change their voice and their rhythm to just watching. It was unbelievable, the show. Well worth the show. And then on Monday, I had a CBLAC meeting, which is the regional seniors meeting. And we're meeting in Sontula next month on the 16th. And we're organizing a bus to go over there. And that's basically me.
Thank you. So I was at many of the different events or different things as well as everybody else with the celebration of, Louis Real Day and the raising of the flag. At the RD meeting, we had a presentation from Western Forest Product talking about their landmark agreement between them and 4 nations. And the nations will have a 34% increase in the new partnership with Western. It still has to go through the government process and all the rest of it. So this is just the initial, but it is a landmark agreement. As well at that one, they talked at the regional district, some of the changes in the campsite. Link River campsite is going to be taken back over by Port Alice and run by the Port Alice town. And there'll be changes coming with the Quatsi campsite as well. The committee of the whole, meeting with the Canada Post representatives for our area was very interesting. Some of the information I don't think they knew about how small the staff is and that they don't just handle Port Hardy, but they handle 12 other communities as well. The overflow of the parcels, the CCAN, that they need a bigger space. And so they were madly taking notes, and we'll see what happens. But as the other counselors and I talked afterwards, we'll wait for a response. If we don't hear anything back in the new year, we'll follow up with another letter and go from there. But it was interesting. That night I had a meeting with this group of female mayors, and I brought this up because most of the mayors that were on the call at that time were rural mayors. There wasn't anybody from an urban area, and none of them had this kind of issue. And I said, well, this is a Canada-wide directive, so expect that it's going to affect your community at some point. We just might be affected sooner than you, but they need to make changes. And one of the mayors was meeting with her MP the next day, so that was one of the issues she's going to bring up with the MP as well. So that was interesting. The BC Ferries charting the course was an interesting meeting. It was a very different type of meeting where there was 2 different platforms, so you had to go back and forth. So when Councillor Robertson was saying about technology, it was challenging. You had to have 2 screens. You have to be able to figure out how to get your 2 screens not to merge together. And but once you got it figured out, it was pretty interesting. But as well, they have a online can't remember what you call it, where you can go online and voice your opinion about their proposals and stuff like that. So that's going to be closing soon. I think we have it on our website, don't we? Or we shared it. Yeah, so if you're interested, even though as Councillor Robertson said, ours is mainly tourism, we do have communities that rely on the ferries for transportation out of here, and Bella Bella, Clem 2 in the summertime, but as well, we've got the Alert Base on Tula ferries. We've got a number of different ferries in our area, so that's a community member, it'd be good to do that survey. The Eagle View Bazaar was very nice, as well as the garage sale was very nice on the weekend. So it's nice having these different events going on when it's getting darker out. Every year I volunteer at the Salvation Army, and I haven't gotten an email from them. And I think because Michael is quite sick right now, that it was a bit late. But as soon as I sent an email saying, hey, I haven't gotten any message, I got a phone call, but they are looking for kettle volunteers. So if you're interested in helping out, just give them a call down at the Salvation Army. And the other thing that I attended today at the same time with our CAO, and I left all my notes at home, but it was about the encampment legislation and Bill 44 that's going into legislation right now that is looking at going forward, which will limit so many of municipal powers on how to deal with encampments. And the legislation will have a lot of unintended consequences that may not affect us right now, but in the future may affect us. And a big part of what they're saying is that a municipality cannot break down an encampment or go to take down an encampment through through the courts unless they have supportive housing for all the members in that encampment. However, we all know how short housing is everywhere. We don't even have supportive housing in our community. And so the possibility of having an encampment and then not being able to do anything about it is a little bit intimidating, to say the least. So our CAO and I were talking, I'd like our council to write a letter to the Ministry of Housing and Premier Evie, just expressing that there needs to be more discussion before this becomes legislation. So I'm just wondering if I would have the support of council to do that. Councilor Tidbury,
I made that motion.
any other comments?
No, I think that's important.
Councilor Robertson? Uh-oh.
No, I 100% supported. I think supportive housing is a provincial issue. And if they ban one and you don't have the supportive housing for it, I don't know how you do that. There's a lot of media discussion about it today. So yeah, I'm absolutely support that.
And that was one of the things that they really stressed in this meeting that we attended today with the lawyers, is that the housing is a province issue. The housing supply is a province issue. That supportive housing has to come from the province, not from the municipality. So it's not making any logical sense what they're bringing forward right now. Our CAO, Nelson Smith, is there anything you wanted to add to that?
I think really from my perspective, I think it's trying to really stress the fact that we're already stretched to capacity as it is for small communities. And I know that this is gonna have a bigger impact in the larger communities, but you know, we also don't have those supports that are coming forward to us. So I think the stressing of the fact that we really need to have an implementation of what it looks like. But my opinion would be, if I was to give it, is that there should be the supports put in place and then the bill could be put forward. But until those supports are in place, we're kind of in a position where that can't happen.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. With regards to that, and I wish I would have been at the meeting, I should have been, but I wasn't, and that's something else I had to do at that time, but with regards to that, when you think about that, the province always does this umbrella and puts everybody under that one umbrella, and I know that when I was talking with Heather, when I was the mayor, we talked about that they don't seem to want to separate small rural communities from the big urban centers. And they put us all under the same umbrella and they put us under the same rules. And it just doesn't work. Just like when they do their evaluations, like they did the last time for the housing, for approval for housing, they put us all on one umbrella and we were competing against the urban centers. And they say, well, your costs are too high. Huh? Guess what? When you live in a small rural community up north, your costs are going to be higher to build. That's the reality. So you can't put us in the same umbrella when you're doing this, but they seem to want to keep doing that all the time and it makes it very difficult. So yeah, I'm totally in support of writing a letter and saying that, yeah, that don't work for us. Small rural communities, just how are we going to do it? Can't. It's just, you can put all the rules in the world there, but guess what? Can't do it. It's impossible. So how do you deal with it?
Well,
It's not easy.
Even the urban areas are,
Oh,
they don't
terrible.
have enough supportive housing.
No,
So it's just, and
we're all in the same.
if this legislation goes through, these encampments could go anywhere they want. So they could be in a school field, it could be in hospital grounds, it could be in the front of a municipal building, it could be wherever. So it's
Well, we know.
the legislation is a bit challenging. to put it mildly.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you for the motion, first and second,
Mhm.
all in favor? Any opposed? Carried, thank you. So our CEO and I will work on drafting something. Okay, on for information and announcements. There's a lot of meetings coming up, even though it's December. Our first finance meeting is tomorrow
Tomorrow.
night, so that should be interesting. We have a notice of in-camera meeting on December 12th to be confirmed. Motion to adjourn. Counselor Texmo. All right, any questions pertaining to the agenda?
Mayor, I'd just like to know, why isn't the RCMP crime statistics report for the last 6 months not included in this agenda for tonight's meeting?